Good evening and welcome everyone to the Women's Fund El Dorado 11th Annual Membership Celebration. 2018 has proved to be an energizing year for the Women's Fund, having granted $84,000 to 6 El Dorado County Western Slope nonprofits. This brings our total grant awards since our inception in 2007 to over $566,000 to 60 worthy nonprofit programs. Each of you made this amazing community impact possible, and we sincerely thank you. The Women's Fund also acts as administrators of the Lighthouse Fund and the Wickline Scholarship process. Both the Lighthouse Fund and the Wickline Scholarship are funded through private donors. No Women's Fund membership dues go to either of these funds. However, we have been entrusted by the Community Foundation to administer the programs. Since its inception, the Lighthouse Fund has awarded over $16,000 to women and/or children in need of dental, medical, and optical treatment. Since 2012, the Wickline Scholarship has awarded $27,000, making a difference in the lives of 20 women in our community. Our organization would not be able to function without the support of its volunteer committee members. I will be introducing each committee member, and I would ask that as I call your name, please stand. Let's wait until all the names have been called to acknowledge their work on behalf of the Women's Fund. Grants Committee, Chair Kathy Witherow. Committee members Ann Curtis, Cheryl Brown, Joy Fossil, Lori Veerkamp, Shannon Bezak, and Tamara Johnston. Site Visit Committee, Chair Claudia Taylor. Committee members Imogene Holler, Carolyn Mansfield, Helen Walsh, Paula Grady, Martha Hom, Jamie Hartshorn, and Avis Jolly. Marketing and Communications, Chair Julie Wilson. Committee members Barbara Bills, Cassie Brown, Frances Waddick, and Amy Pooley. Events, Chair Diane Child. Diane calls her committee the events team, as there are committee members along with other Women's Fund members who volunteer their time on the day of our events to help set up. They are Mary Zahn, Kelly Vicini Hunter, Judy Stewart, Cindy Brazelton, Bonnie West, Kim Samaniego, Susan Covington, and Julie Wilson. Our Education Committee co-chairs Colleen Johnson and Amy Anderson. Committee members Sandra McShawn, Kathleen Hall, Raylene Nunn, Sally Traub, and Mary Richardson. Membership Committee co-chairs Amarique Singh and Kathy Harris. Committee members Barbara Peterson, Debbie Pottenberg, Cindy Skelton Hodge, and Blue Tierney. Lighthouse Committee Chair Lene Boys. Committee members Terry Colehart, Allison Gilbert, Jamie McClone, Katie Peak, and Kathy Witherow. The Women's Fund Cabinet consists of all the committee chairs, in addition to the chair, Vice Chair Dixon Schwartzbach, Past Chair Kathy Bean, Treasurer Francie Heim, Secretary Cindy Brazelton, our founder Katie Peak, and our archivist Vera Nicholas. Thank you all very much for your time and commitment that you've given to the Women's Fund. The Women's Fund continues our goal to remain responsive to our members and our nonprofits, listening to feedback received and recognizing the needs in our community. I'm excited to share with you tonight some changes on the horizon. Everything I share with you has been highlighted in our recent news blasts and is available on our website. At our cabinet retreat this year, the cabinet members discussed at length the membership structure and the current percentage allocation of the membership dues for both the Pioneer and the Key Holder members. Since our inception, whether you are a Pioneer member or a Key Holder member, a percentage of your dues goes towards grants and a percentage goes into our endowment. Our founding members had the forethought to establish an endowment fund to ensure permanency of granting for many, many years to come. This endowment fund is invested through the El Dorado Community Foundation, our fiscal agent, and currently stands at over $500,000. Beginning January 1st, 2019, the membership dues percentage allocations will be restructured to allow more of your contribution to go directly to grants. This will allow us to increase our granting capabilities and is in alignment with our mission to enhance the quality of life on the western slope of El Dorado County. There are also some exciting changes on the horizon for our 2019 grants process. The request for proposals to all Western Slope nonprofits will be released on November 8th of this year. This is earlier than in the past. The ballot showcase is set on February 7th, 2019, with voting by our members to open at the close of the ballot showcase. Thank you to all of our members who have made and continue to make the Women's Fund the amazing philanthropic organization that it is. We continue to grow and give back to our community by each of us reaching out to our husbands, our family, our neighbors, our friends, and our gym cronies, telling them about the Women's Fund, the power of collective giving, and inviting them to our 3 events each year. Think about who you would like to introduce to the Women's Fund.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to have everyone here. I'm Dixon Schwartzbach. Are you getting, and I'm Vice Chair. So I'm going to be introducing our speaker, who is Andrea Howard. Each October, we celebrate what we've accomplished in our community through collective giving and are inspired by a woman's story of commitment to improving the community. This year, we're delighted that we have one of our members who is speaking to us. Her name is Andrea Howard, and she'll share her story and how she came to her beliefs about social responsibility. Andrea has been a member of the Women's Fund since 2011, and her mother, Cheryl Brown, is also a Women's Fund member and serves on the Grants Committee. So this is a family affair here. Beyond working full-time, Andrea supports the nonprofit community as a member of the El Dorado Hills Cabinet of the El Dorado Community Foundation, and she's in a number of boards of directors. This includes Boys and Girls Club, the El Dorado County Western Slope, Marshall Foundation, Hands for Hope Youth Making a Difference, the Center for Violence-Free Relationships, and the El Dorado County Economic Development Corporation. So lots of commitments. So by day, Andrea serves as the principal planner for Parker Development in El Dorado Hills. She wanted to design a community from the ground up and put the pieces together for a community of life. She developed this community with Parker Development, and she lives there in the community that she designed. During those few hours when Andrea is not volunteering or working, she enjoys traveling, hiking, and swimming with her husband Tom and their two Labradors, Woody and Olive. So please join me in welcoming Andrea Howard.
Good evening, everybody. I love how my two fur babies get honorable mention in an event like this. They're my pride and joy. Thank you, Dixon, for such a warm welcome. It's such a pleasure and an honor to be in the company of all of you and frankly the entire network of the Women's Fund. I'm always so grateful and enthusiastic when I walk into a room and I think about what the Women's Fund membership represents. I mean, I'm among friends and colleagues, judges and elected officials, small business owners, philanthropists, corporate executives, and mothers and daughters, and it's such an inspiring and enthusiastic moment to be here with you. This reminds me a lot of the Women's Fund mission. We inspire greatness in our community. We empower women to embrace philanthropy, and together we impact our community for the better. And what a powerful force this is. And again, it's an honor to be in your company. The president of the Caterpillar Foundation, Michelle Sullivan, once said, "It's vitally important to help each other. No, we can't walk in each other's shoes, but we can walk side by side and support each other." And I believe that this sentiment really embraces what the Women's Fund is all about. With the power of collective giving, we elevate the nonprofits around us to fulfill unmet needs, and in the process we achieve maximum community impact. I also believe that each one of us in a very individual capacity have a duty to social responsibility and a moral sensibility to do whatever we can for the greater good of our community. As I think about my remarks for tonight, there were three words that kept ringing in my ears: passion, purpose, and philanthropy. So how do you describe passion? Helen Keller said it graciously, I think. "The best and most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or even touched. They must be felt with the heart." And I think it is so true that passion comes from the heart. I have to admit that my passion for community service wasn't natural. It had to be cultivated. And it began with a conversation with a mentor some years ago who suggested that I find a cause in the community that I can embrace and get behind and volunteer my time. And I remember thinking at that time, my life is so incredibly busy. I have no idea how I can find another aspect in my life to take on. And in hindsight, as I think about that reply, it was incredibly selfish. My mentor wasn't asking me to give up something about myself. I think he was really challenging me to think about something that's bigger than myself. He was challenging me to just really not say that I live in El Dorado County, but that I embrace it and I establish deeper roots to really understand how it works. And so what I've come to learn from this challenge is that passion for serving others is really about community outreach. It's about building trust and relationships, and really being observant about what is going on around you, and really not just seeing or complaining about societal problems, but being part of the solution. Passion is ignited by the belief that we can leave things a little better than we found them. I know I will never cure cancer. I'm never going to end global conflict and achieve world peace. But I know that all of us in this room collectively, and the entire Women's Fund Network, are doing some really amazing things to make our corner of the world a better place. So with passion in our hearts, what is our purpose in giving back? Diana, Princess of Wales, she was one of my favorites. Nothing brings me more happiness than trying to help the most vulnerable people in our society. It is a goal and an essential part of my life, a kind of destiny. And so community engagement for me really has become a large part of my life. It too is my destiny and my purpose, as evidenced by the list of boards that Dixon described for you. And so sometimes I'm asked, how do you do it? How do you juggle the demands of the office and family life and community commitment? And I must say it does take the support of your family, certainly my mom, who's here tonight, who I would like to publicly thank for her patience and her graciousness in allowing me to fill my schedule to the point that it sacrifices time that we have together. She's allowing me the freedom to tackle new projects. So Mom, thank you for that. I love you. So, so going back to the how do you do community engagement? I think that's really a secondary question to the why. And why is going to be different for all of us in this room. But in the end, the why provides the motivation and meaning. And I'm sure we can all agree that we feel really good when we help other people. Exercising kindness and compassion for others can oftentimes put our lives into perspective. And I know my life isn't perfect, but I do recognize that they're filled with blessings that are celebrated daily, particularly in light of others around us who may be struggling or just happen to be down on their luck. Giving is also incredibly empowering. Connecting over shared passions for a cause while helping others is a great way to meet like-minded, motivated people like all of you. And in the process, we make new friends. So many times the answer to why also ties back to a personal connection. And for me, it's my dad. During the recession, my dad lost his job. And he struggled for some number of years to find work, and he never did. And as a result of that, he dipped into bouts of depression. He had some good days, he had some really bad days. And I could see that something was off with him. I wanted to help him. I didn't know where to turn for help. I was afraid of saying the wrong things and tipping him over. I wanted to say the right thing, but I didn't really know what that was. And so in the process of trying to figure this all out, he took his own life. And that was in 2011. And from the night that he died, I have carried around a tremendous guilt in my heart because there's a part of me that feels like I failed him. I didn't step up. I wasn't assertive enough to save him. So in the face of that life-changing event for me, my purpose in giving back to the community has really become my therapy. It's the way that I'm healing myself. And it's giving me a second opportunity to save somebody else's life. It's giving me a second opportunity to improve somebody else's life. And in the words of Anne Frank, how wonderful that no one need to wait a single moment to improve the world. And so, Dad, you and I are doing this together. So this brings me to philanthropy. Laura Arriaga Andreessen, who is a Stanford graduate and a founder of a private operating foundation in Palo Alto, says, "Giving is a universal opportunity. Regardless of your age, profession, religion, income bracket, and background, you have the capacity to create change." The capacity to create change is fueled, obviously, by passion and purpose. And let me tell you, you don't have to break the bank to practice philanthropy. It can be as simple as buying a cup of coffee for the person in line behind you. You could buy some toys and take them to Judge Sullivan's courtroom. or you can give your gift of time to somebody or an organization. So as we look around the room tonight, the collective model of giving has certainly shifted the paradigm on women's giving. By pooling individual dollars to make significantly larger grants allows women of all income brackets and all wealth to participate in big, meaningful gifts. It engages women in philanthropy and encourages them to become philanthropists. Together, all of us, we are moving the needle on issues that affect us here locally every day and touching other lives in the process. So I want to say thank you very much for your involvement and commitment to the Women's Fund. In closing, I just want to leave you one thought from Maya Angelou. When we give cheerfully and accept gratefully, everyone is blessed. Thank you.
Andrea, thank you so much. To Katie, Peak, and our founding members, thank you does not seem enough to convey the magnitude of appreciation the Women's Fund members have for your foresight in its creation and your continued support. You have provided many of us the opportunity to learn what it means to be philanthropic and to support and give back to the community in which we live. To think of how many lives have been affected by the creation of the Women's Fund is astounding.
I'm doing the closing, and it's in 3 parts, so I'm just going to let you know that. Number 1, logistics. On your table, there's a flower arrangement. There's also an envelope. So if you would, someone from your table or another table that's left, if you'd like to leave a check or a $10 bill in that envelope, you can take that home with you. And it was designed so it might even fit in your cup holder. So it would be easy to transport. We have an events committee and an events committee chair that is incredibly organized and artistic. So that in terms of logistics, that's what we have. And then next, I'd like to recognize our sponsors. That one of the reasons that we are able to give so much to our community through our grants process is because we have support from sponsors who are helping us with other costs. And those are gold sponsor as Wells Fargo Bank. Our silver sponsors are Serrano, Eldorado Savings Bank, and US Bank. Our bronze sponsors are Marshall Medical Center, Carter Kelly, Cold Springs Dental, David and Cindy Brazelton, Naked Market, Eldorado Disposal, Pacific Investment Consultants, and Forklift. And then we have event sponsors, and you will see many of those people here because they have, through their contributions and their generosity, helped us to put on this event. Old Town Grill, whose dinner you got to experience. Sean Frame with Frame by Frame. Barsodi Juice. Golden Ideas. Flowers on Main. We'd also like to thank our fiscal agent, which is the Eldorado Community Foundation. So we're at part 3 now. Yes, they allow us to do more of what we had in that video through their contributions. So part 3, I would like to give you, I'm the vice chair, and that means that by November 1st, I take over as chair, and I haven't done it yet. But I'd like to, just before we close, to share some of my experiences as vice chair. Because this has sort of been a process where you pull back the curtain. So I've been a member for a number of years. I've served on committees, I've led focus groups, I've done a number of things. But it's now getting to that point where I'm really seeing all the details of how everything happens and how it all fits together. And I want to say that We have a leadership structure where expectations are clear and detailed. I mean, we really have this all laid out as far as how we run, how we're transparent, all the procedures to make sure that we make best use of the funds and most effective use of the funds. And I have had the opportunity to work with Robin Parker. And Robin has, before starting as the chair, let me just describe, she was on the events committee, so she's a member. Then she was in the events committee for 2 years. Then she was the chair of the events committee for 2 years. Then she was the vice chair for 2 years. And now she's just finished as the chair for 2 years. She will now be the post-chair. Kathy Bean has been serving in that role very graciously and fabulously. So I will still get Robin there to help me. So I've looked at this as, I kind of had the training wheels. So I've had 2 years of training wheels. And then she's still going to be there to hold my hand. So I'm most grateful for the support that she has provided. That Robin is tireless in her commitment to make sure that what you select in the branding process is carried out to make the best use of funding. The level of detail that she goes through, the meetings she has, the phone calls, because I'm now in all those, I'm included on everything. It is just so incredibly impressive, and I knew Robin before, or at least I thought I did. But just how she has conducted this has been, just such a pleasure and so inspiring to get to be with. So with grace and warmth, this woman is a dynamo. So, she's petite. You wouldn't think she has these big shoes to, big set of shoes to fill, but she does. She's making and has made a huge difference in our community because she's been a wise and capable steward of our collective giving. So I just want to let you know, given that I now know all of the details of what's going on over my 2 years of tutoring, the Women's Fund is strong and it's healthy. So Robin has afforded me the opportunity to work to prepare, and she will be there to help lend that guiding hand over the next 2 years as we continue to expand and refine the power and the impact of our collective giving. So I would like to thank Robin, and if she would come up here, we'd appreciate that. So I am grateful that Robin will continue to be here and provide that firm, strong, thorough, careful, gracious leadership as we continue, and look forward to working with you, trying to fill her shoes over the next 2 years. So I think that we have back to our logistics. We have the table, the envelopes on the table, and that if you would like to purchase the flowers on your table, that you're welcome to. If not, you can purchase from another table that has them available. So thank you so much for being here and celebrating with us. Andrea, you just did a fabulous job. There's the publication, I can't think of the name, it just came out. I was getting my hair cut today and I looked, it's like, oh, there's Andrea. So you can get the style. So she is featured this month in style. Anyways, thank you for being a member of the Women's Fund, and encourage you to reach out and let's continue to grow and provide in our community. Thanks.